come to a forceful truce. It's like a truce between two bad people. They both come to a truce. That, we should not fight with each other, but let's destroy others and cause grief to others. But Vali is not as bad as Ravana. Vali did not indulge in other people's lives, but Ravana was making others cry. So this was the story of Vali and Ravana. And coming back to Aswamedha Yaga, so there are so many yajnas mentioned in the Vedas, such as Saptapaka Yajna, Saptahavir Yajna, and Saptasoma Yajna. These are 3 yajnas, and each type of yajna has 7. Again, within them they have 7 types. That's why they are called Sapta Paka Yajna. So they have Saptapaka Yajna, 7 Paka Yajnas, Saptahavir Yajna, and Saptasoma Yajna. And apart from these, there are many other yajnas which are for the benefit of mankind and benefit of the universe. And one of such yajnas is Aswamedha Yaga. They are called Abhyudhayana yajnas. And one is Aswamedha Yaga, the other one is Rajasuya, and the other one is Paundarika Yajna, and the fourth one is Brihaspati Stava. So these are several yajnas. Out of this, Dasarada chose to do Aswamedha Yaga. And architects, poets, scholars, and Chaturvarna, people of all regions, castes, they were all invited to the yajna. And all the architects, they built temporary structures for the people to stay, and also temporary structures for the receiving, to receive other kings from other kingdoms, and also big stalls for the horses, big stables for horses and elephants and all other animals that these kings from other kingdoms used to bring. So they had all these arrangements. And while the yajna was going on, people they were serving food to the people, and it was going on and on and on. Like they didn't stop it. Today I read more in detail. They didn't stop they didn't stop giving food. Like some people were getting up, going, other people were coming, and then there were shifts. Like all the cooks, they were changing places. Some other cooks will come and cook for them, and then those who have served till now, they will sit down and eat. And then all other people, they will eat their food and then they will go. And there was no satisfaction for anybody. They were sitting and kept on eating and eating, and neither the people were satisfied nor Dasarada was satisfied. And the sloka also goes this way: Vruddhamcha, Vyadithamcha, Striyo, Balam, Tathavicha, Anisham Bhulyamananam, Natrupti Upalabhyate. That means Vruddhascha means old people, they are also eating. Vyadithascha, sick people, they are also eating. Striyo, Bala, Tathavicha means kids, women, they are also eating. And Anisham Bhulyamananam, that means continuously eating. Natrupti, no satisfaction, Upalabhyate for anybody. They didn't get that trupti, that satisfaction. So it has been going on and on like this. And they are saying, oh, our stomachs are small and we are not feeling satisfied. And on the other side, Dasarada is saying, I am also not satisfied because we are not eating more. So serve them more. And everybody else is shouting, all these servants and everybody, Diyatam annam vasamsi vividhancha. It means give away clothes, give away food, vasamsi, that means clothes, vividhancha, other paraphernalia, gold, things like that, give away. In the modern world, we always say, take away. So give away, they are giving away. And then Vasishta told all the Brahmanas and other people, whoever are serving in that Aswamedha Yaga, that some people might talk passionately, some people might talk very angrily, because they have come from different places. Some people have come from cultured cities, bigger cities, Nagarika Nagara. Some people might have come from villages. So just because they have come from villages, do not treat them improperly. Treat them everyone equally. If ever anyone talks angrily, control yourself and serve them properly. Do not ever cross your limits, because whatever mistake you do now will affect your king Dasarada. So keep that in mind and serve. And everybody agreed to Vasishtha, and everybody served in the same manner. They wore diamond studded earrings, and they wore diamond studded anklets, nice clothes, and then very clean. They took bath and then they started to serve. It's not like hair all over the place and then curries all over the body. They were serving. They were very clean and they were tidily serving all the people who have come. So this was the way they served the people at the time. And on the other hand, some people were pouring down rice heaps. They were like big mountains, white mountains, like Meru Parvatas. They were shining. All these pearl-like rice grains, well cooked rice grains. When you look at them, they are like pearls, but when you touch them, they are soft like cotton or butter. So such was the rice. They cooked it that way, and everybody was eating. And as I said, Vruddhascha, even old people were able to eat because it is soft. Vyadhithascha, generally people who are sick, they can't eat all kinds of curries. Their tongue won't let them to eat. But here, the food materials were prepared in such a way that even the sick people can relish it. So I don't know what the trick is, but they have cooked it in such a way. Whatever is palatable and whatever is enticing for the sick, they have prepared such items for them. And for children, they can't eat spicy or hot food, right? But even they started to relish that food. So for them, those kind of materials have been served. And striyas, generally women, they take light food and they don't eat as heavily as men. So for them also, whatever they can take more, such things are prepared. So everybody is eating heavily and they are not satisfied yet. After eating so much, they are still feeling light. And some people, they want to eat but they cannot eat. So they are, what is the stomach? It's really bad that Brahma has given us only this much stomach. We need a bigger stomach to eat Dasarada's items. So one can imagine how tasty those items were. Why such opulent description or why such opulence was exhibited at that time is because it's the arrival of Lord Ramachandra. It's the arrival of the greatest personality in the universe, in all the universes. So it is just an atom, a speck of the celebrations that Valmiki is trying to depict. He has done enough justice, but I am not able to do it. But when Lord Ramachandra is about to arrive, this is the these are the celebrations that are going on. And what kind of a personality is Ramachandra? One can ask me, why do Dasaratha need to perform Aswamedha Yaga? A king, for a king, his citizens are his children. This is what Lord Ramachandra has showed in the future. For him, Ayodhya Vasis were his children, like his children. Then why did Dasaratha, who was the father of Ramachandra, and equally, Dasaratha was equal in dharma when it comes to Ramachandra. That's why he was born to Dasaratha. Why did Dasaratha seek for children? He had so many children, Ayodhya Vasis, but still he wanted for Ramachandra, for a son. Why? Because there were so many people, but everybody lacked one thing or the other. He wanted a spotless moon, and that moon was Ramachandra. So that's why he wanted that kind of a son. That's why he wanted to perform Aswamedha Yaga. There was a lot of prosperity in Ayodhya and the surrounding kingdoms. But still, he wanted to perform a yajna that would benefit the whole mankind. So he went and asked Rishyasringa that I want to perform Aswamedha Yaga for the benefit of mankind. So for everybody's prosperity. Thinking that he is also one among that everybody and he would also benefit in the form of getting sons. So this was Dasaratha's noble intentions. So Rishyasringa agreed. And they performed this yaga, and then right now they were serving food and all the things are going on at one end, and on the other end they built the Agnichayana fire, altar of fire, bricklaying ceremony. It's also called Ishtika Chayana. It's in the form of an eagle. It's like almost like an aeroplane. It's as complex as building an aeroplane, but it only takes off in another way. This was said by a professor called Fitzstall. He said, the altar of fire looks just like an aeroplane, but it only takes off in another way. It takes off to the spiritual world. So on the altar of fire, it's a big bricklaying ceremony. They cut the bricks in parallelogram shapes, triangular shapes, and all other shapes, and then in fit them like a jigsaw puzzle. It resembles an eagle. So Ishtika Chaina was going on, and then they were performing rituals. All these huts, whatever they have built, shalas, they have so many shalas. Uttarvedi, which is one kind of shala, and then Agnihotra shala, where they continuously maintain Agnihotra. Generally, people who maintain Agnihotra in their house, they maintain it for their entire life. Like, they never let it down, like they never let the fire go off. So they carry it in pots wherever they go, and they try to ignite another thing with that and then maintain that fire. Even Ramachandra maintained that when he was in Aranyavasa. So he also had an Agnihotra shala. So in one of the altars was Agnihotra shala. One of the those huts which are the temporary housing was Agnihotra shala. Uttarvedi, Agnihotra shala, and then they have Vedi, which is a sacrificial arena, and then they have Upastambhas, which we discussed, like 21 columns, 8-faced columns carved in 8 faces, plated with gold, and they are arranged in the form of the Saptarshi Mandala. That means a square and then 3 like a tail, or you can say like a kite with a tail, like a diamond and then a tail falling. Like all the 18 stambhas are arranged in the form of a square, and then 3 in front of them. So in the form of a Saptarshi Mandala, that is Upastambha place. And then they have Garuda Vedi, which is the main altar where they perform the sacrifice. And then they have a Patni Shala where all the women used to stay. And then they have Sadas where all the scholars used to stay there. All the scholars will be in Sadas. So like they have different shalas. So now the Putrakameshti Yaga is going on, and in between the recesses of these rituals, all the scholars, they join at one end and then they start to discuss logic. It's just like when a big marriage is going on, people who are free from their duties, they come and sit and they discuss things. Right? So on one end, everything was going on very busy. They were all doing all these things, and whoever have done their duty and then they came back, they would sit down, have prasadam, and then they would talk to each other, they discuss logic, and they were passing time like that. So at the end of Putrakameshti Yaga, Prajapati Purusha emerged out of the fire. He's as resplendent as sun. He is very bright, and his hair is very soft like a lion's mane. And this is all mentioned here in Valmiki Ramayana. His hair is like lion's mane, and he was golden in color, and he was called a Prajapati Purusha. Generally, sons of Kashyap Prajapati are called Prajapatyas. So this is Prajapati Purusha. He emerged out of that fire, resplendent as sun, and his hair was soft like the mane of a lion, and he was holding a golden pot in his hand, which was covered with a silver lid, and he was wearing black and red colored clothes. So he was wearing black and red colored clothes, and he was carrying a golden pot with a silver lid. And when he is walking, it seems as if he is walking with his wife. So carefully he is bringing that pot, as if one carries his wife with 2 hands, with one hand in the other, how they bring their wife in a newlywed wife to the house, to the person's house. Similarly, he was bringing his golden pot as carefully, and when he is walking, that sound seems to be coming from the drums called Dundubi. Dundubi is a kind of drum. So his voice and his steps were sounding like Dundubi, and he was walking with one step in the other, and he was approaching Dasaratha. And then Dasaratha went nearby him and then asked him, "My dear sir, what can I do for you? You have emerged out of this fire with no intention of mine. What can I do for you?" Then he started to speak. He said, "I am the son of Prajapati. I am called as Prajapati Purusha. Upon your request, upon your desire to beget sons, I have bought this divine payasa made by the celestials for the sake of you. You distribute this payasa among your important wives, among your most dear wives, and you will beget sons in the future." So this is what he said and gave the divine payasa to Dasarada. And Dasarada received the payasa as if a pauper, like a person who has lost everything, is receiving so much of wealth. A person in drought or famine, when he sees rain, how he behaves, Dasarada's feelings were like that. Because 60,000 years he did not have sons. And now he is about to get a son. That too, what kind of a son? Son means Ramachandra. This is son. So he is about to get the glorious son, who is Ramachandra. He doesn't know it, but still, when some good is happening, you become automatically that happiness sprouts in you without your consciousness. So something good is happening, something great is happening. So he is about to get Lord Ramachandra as a son. So he received the divine payasa as if a pauper receives goddess Lakshmi. So he received that, and then the Prajapati Purusha immediately disappeared. This is how it is mentioned. He immediately disappeared from the sacrificial arena. And then Dasarada walked towards his wife, and then one half of the payasa was given to Kausalya, because she's the Mahishi. So one half of the payasa he gave to Kausalya. And then half of the remaining half, that means 1/4. 1/4 of the payasa was given to Sumitra. Now how much is over? Like half of the payasa was given to Kaikeyi, and half of that half, which is 1/4, was given to Sumitra, and then half of the other half remaining half, he gave it to Kaikeyi. So now some portion of it is left over, right? Again, half of the last half, that he gave it to Sumitra again. So that's why Sumitra has two sons, Lakshmana and Shatrugna, and Kaikeyi begot Bharata as a son, and Kausalya, obviously, Lord Ramachandra. Before this happened, all the celestials, as we discussed last week, they approached Lord Vishnu and asked him. They told all their troubles that Ravana was giving. They found out that only a man can kill Ravana. So they approached Vishnu and asked him, please appear as a man and save us. And Lord Vishnu agreed, and he said, I will appear as Lord Rama. I will be born to Dasarada as his 4 sons. Unlike the other Ramayanas that we have heard, that Vishnu came as Rama and his conch shell as Lakshmana and Sudarshana as Bharata and his club. No, Adisesha as Lakshmana and his conch as Shatrugna and Sudarshana as Bharata. That is the normal traditional story that we hear. But Valmiki has written that Vishnu himself came as 4 sons. But one can ask, so half of Vishnu is Rama and 1/4 of Vishnu is Bharata. Is it? No, that's not the case. This is still a Purna Avatara. How? It is mentioned, right? Purnasya Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. That means out of the whole, whatever is taken out of the whole is very similar to the whole. And in spite of this part being taken out of the whole yet remains the whole. It's the algebraic rule, infinity minus infinity is always infinity. And even if infinity is taken out of that infinity is still infinity. And in spite of this infinity being taken out of that infinity still remains infinity. So, Purnasya Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate.
Also, Prabhu, like even in daily life, if you see mother giving birth to another child, like even the child is also complete and mother is also complete. So even though she came out of, or the child came out from the mother.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that's a wonderful example. Like mother giving birth to children, like sometimes twins, sometimes triplets, quadruplets. Still, mother is mother, and the kids, they all grow up to be very similar to mother. And they also, again, if it is a baby girl, she will give birth to another one, and they are all very similar to the original one. So similarly, we have all descended from the Lord, but we are not complete. Just like the water drop from an ocean, when it is taken out, it has all the qualities of the ocean, but it is still not the ocean. So the ocean remains the ocean. So that is our nature. But here the Lord has descended and expanded himself as Ramachandra, Shatrugna, Bharata, Lakshmana. Shatrugna is the youngest brother. So Kausalya got Lord Ramachandra as her son, and Kaikeyi got Bharata, and Lakshmana and Shatrugna were born to Sumitra. We will discuss it in detail at what time they were born and how they were named in the coming Haritala. But today we will discuss about all the demigods approached Vishnu and then they asked him, "Could you please appear?" So he said, "Yes, I have selected Dasarada as my father, I will appear." So he appeared as 4 sons. And then on the other hand, Brahma told these demigods that you too have to produce your offspring through several millions of apsaras and or vanaras or vanaris, you produce your offspring. I have already produced Jambavan and he has helped the demigods during the churning of the milk ocean. Actually these apsaras, they were born out of the froth that came out of the churning of the milk ocean. The apsaras were born. 60 crores of apsaras were born. And Brahma asked, even the divine Lord Vishnu himself asked, the demigods refused to marry these apsaras, and even the Rakshasas refused to marry these apsaras. So finally they remained as celestial damsels. So this was the story of the apsaras. So, and then they married, they begot sons for the demigods because they cannot have sons with their own wives because of the curse of Parvati, which we discussed last week. But what about this churning of milk ocean? Why did they have to churn the milk ocean? First of all, when Indra, when he was enjoying with Rambha, Durvasa Muni started walking towards him, and then he gave a Parijata Pushpa to Indra. Indra offered his obeisances to Durvasa and took the Parijata flower, and then instead of generally you smell it and then you will have it in your ear or you will wear it or you will keep it at an important place. But Indra, out of he was drunk at that time, out of pride he threw the Parijata flower to Airavata. As and when the Parijata flower fell on Airavata, Airavata started to glow like 1,000 suns. And Airavata left Indra. It's carrying Parijata, it's no more wishing to carry a mortal like Indra. Indra is also a mortal, though he lives for several celestial years, still he is also immortal. So Airavata left and then it went away. So, and even Durvasa cursed him that this flower is coming from the Lord, and then you have thrown it, all the Lakshmi that you have will go away. The Swarga Lakshmi will go now and join with the Vaikuntha Lakshmi. So you will not have any prosperity anymore. So Indra immediately recognized his mistake, and he knew that the adversity is going to come in the form of Rakshasas, because they are going to invade Swarga. So this is how adversity will come, not directly as if losing money, but in another form that we see in the material world. Some people will have a lot of money, but ill health, things like that. That is why we are doing this Ramayana, so that all the hearers and all your friends, near and dear, your parents, my parents,